800-951-0592. Now, I need y'all to pay attention because I know, I get it. You're like, we've heard the commercial real estate story already. Well, I've got an update for you. So, between now and the end of the year, about 1/3 of that what was that number? 1.5 trillion, so about $500 billion is going to be due between now and the end of the year. Now, here's something new, because I always love it when we learn new things. According to Bank of America and J.P. Morgan Chase, there's a new problem in the commercial mortgage market. Obviously, number one, lack of demand, right? That makes sense. But the second is obviously the interest rates, right, making it more expensive. But according to the latest analytics, CRE loans, commercial real estate loans, that were originated a decade ago when mortgage rates were about 4.5% are now due. Now, here's the catch when how all of this works. Banks have to consider a bunch of factors, right? So let's just say, hey, here comes a building, and it's due. They got to make the balloon payment. They're not going to make the balloon payment, and they said, hey, can we refinance the building? Well, the banks just don't say sure, right? They use, like everything else, they have a formula, Jason. And this is the interesting thing about this formula. They call it debt service coverage ratio. So debt service coverage ratio. That's a pretty fancy name. It's really simple. How much revenue are you bringing in from rent, right, versus how much it costs for you to make the mortgage payment and general upkeep? You know, you're the landlord. So what the banks would consider landlord expenses. Here's the problem. They're now saying that in order for a bank to refinance you need what they consider to be a 1.25 ratio on your debt service. In other words, hey, we want you to have, a 25% cushion at the end of every month when you collect all the rents, because the banks know. Why do we want you to have a cushion? Well, because next month one of the tenants may stop paying, right, Jason? I mean, that makes sense, right? You got to have a little something in the kitty. Here's where it gets really, really interesting. They're saying that 88% of all the commercial real estate that's coming due is interest only. And they're saying that, and this is really what is shocking about what they're saying about these levels, is that 44% of the $500 billion that needs to be refinanced this year will fall below the 1.25% on the debt service coverage ratios. In other words, Jason, they won't even be able to refinance. The banks are like, nope, can't refinance you. You're not collecting enough in rent right now. And so we're looking at least, that's assuming, let's just assume all the other stuff nobody walks away from. That would still mean the banks would have to write off another $250 billion. And Jason, remember, Silicon Valley Bank, right, its total deposit base was only like $150 billion. I mean, this is a huge amount that they're saying won't even be eligible to be refinanced. So that's kind of the new information that we learned today.
Maybe this solves some of the slowness of the job market not softening harder. If that's such a term. Yeah, we expect these job losses, right, Joe, for this recession, right, so they can stop raising the rates. Maybe a bunch of small businesses are just falling left and right. And so suddenly small business owners are now a job. They have to get jobs. Maybe that's what's going on, Joe. The rents. You see how that could work? Where it seems like everything is moving the way it should be. It's just hard to trace the entirety of the picture,
It's hard for me to grasp. Are you trying to tell me, because this is what they're saying, that almost half of all commercial real estate loans that are going to come due this year, so between now and the end of the year, are going to be ineligible to even if they wanted to refinance? Which just means what? I mean, to me, that means it's pretty simple. The people that and you got to remember, it's not the banks that own the buildings. Right? It's these property groups. And we've been talking about how a bunch of them, well, why are you sending back the key? Now we know why. Now it makes perfect sense. Why are all these major property? Because guess what? We don't meet the requirement. We couldn't refinance if we wanted to.
And maybe some of these guys barely financed to begin with on the lower interest to get these loans to begin with. They can't qualify for the new loan with a higher interest rate with a huge payment. So there's just that on top of just, hey, you can't collect the rent. What about, can you even afford the old loan amount with the new interest rate, Joe? So that's
I'm sitting there thinking, everybody's talking about these banks, and especially the regional smaller banks, are trying to sell and get rid of their commercial real estate portfolios. There's no chance in hell they're getting rid of this stuff. There's no who in their right mind would buy that when they're like, wait a minute, half of these people may not even be eligible to refinance. I just don't see how it's possible.
If you just look at the markets, Joe, which seems to be in the last 2.5 plus years in a wait and hold moment, well, if everybody's in a wait and hold moment, who's going to buy and start new businesses? Who's going to buy new commercial real estate and expand in a wait and see moment? Everyone's in a wait and see moment. How can you possibly buy up somebody else's commercial real estate if everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen?
Yesterday we learned that the Bank of International Settlements was working on the retail digital currency. Today, well, the World Economic Forum weighed in. We'll tell you about what they want next. (800-951-0592). Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Tuesday. Quick look here at the markets. The Dow is down 350. The S&P is down 32. The Nasdaq's down 100. Gold's down. Well, depending on where you look. So I'm going to tell you gold's down almost $25. But I think because we got to remember the stock exchange in New York and Chicago was closed yesterday. So Kitco's got it down 15. Either way, 19.35 on gold. Silver's down almost $1 in both places because silver was pretty flat yesterday. Down near $23 an ounce. It's a great day to be buying silver today. But listen, if you're tired of all this nonsense, we're going to have Jay Powell. I can't wait to hear all the half-truths he says over the next 2 days. Inflation's eating your lunch. You're not getting the returns that are keeping up with it. Check out our friends at YRefi. InvestYRefi.com. Up to 10.25% fixed rates of returns. You can turn your income on, you can turn your income off, you can compound it. You got all kinds of choices, no fees. Really a great company to do business with. Check them out, investyrefi.com. That's the word invest, the letter Y, REFY.com. Or call them at 888-YREFI24, 888-YREFI24. Remember, you got to have $50,000 or more to invest. But you can use existing IRA, so they got some cool programs for you guys to look at. Now, you want another reason? Because, was it last week, I told you about a meeting in Austin, Texas, right? Our Treasury was there, the banks were there, the credit card companies were there, and they were talking about the retail part of the central bank digital currency. We know what I'll call the wholesale. Right, they're getting ready. That thing's up and running. I think it's either started June 1st or July 1st. It's pretty much getting ready to go live. What they call Fed Now. And of course, I was telling you, the Treasury is outlining kind of the rules, the regulations, how it's going to work, and they were talking about inclusion. Right, and wink, wink, nod, nod, privacy. We're gonna pretend you're gonna be able to remain private. Unfortunately for the Treasury, while they were saying that, the other intelligence agencies had to come out and admit that they got caught spying on all the Americans and talking about how easy it is to identify who is who. And then yesterday, we learned that the Bank of International Settlements, along with the Bank of England, was working through a bunch of retail central bank currency issues and running tests and doing all this stuff. Well, today, it got a little deeper today. Because remember, they're still telling you they haven't decided if they were going to do it. But the United Nations, Jason, has now weighed in, and should be no surprise, they want to adopt the system developed by the World Economic Forum. Wow. There's a shocker. Now, if you want to look at this, okay, so, by the way, the World Economic Forum, they had 3 new policy briefs from the UN, titled A Global Digital Compact, Reforms to the International Financial Architect, and I don't know where this one fits in, the Future of Outer Space Governance. Yep, so, hey, it's digital, so I guess it can go anywhere, right? You got to have it in outer space, you got to have it, I guess, where that missing sub is, below the ocean, you got to have it everywhere. The goal is a vision for the future, Jason. It's the vision for the future. The official title, Our Common Agenda.
They just want their money in every corner and every place out there. They want you to have to use it and be enslaved to it. I mean, this is what's so good about gold and silver, Joe. It's just so much outside of this type of news, and they want us indebted to this stuff. And I love it. You say under the ocean or into the out of the atmosphere. They want you dealing in this. I could see it now, right? Just digital currency everywhere, right, Joe? And I really shiver every time we talk about getting into that monetary system of no cash, because that lack of privacy just makes government seem even more tyrannical and worse than it already is.
Well, guess what? I got another date for you. We'll see how close this is. This is creepy stuff. The Common Agenda vision should be given the green light in September 2024 during an event called the Summit for the Future. And that Summit for the Future includes digital IDs linked with bank and mobile money accounts. Oh, yeah. We want to know who you are. Your digital ID will now become maybe as important as your social security number. Patriot Radio Group, Patriot Radio News Hour, wrapping up the week. Well, not the week, but wrapping up the day right after this. Eight 800-951-0592. Yes, they haven't decided, guys. Don't worry. They haven't made up their mind. They're just putting all the rules in place, and don't worry about the Bank of International Settlements or the United Nations or the World Economic Forum. But believe me, September 2024, that sounds about right. I think by that time we can be in full-blown recession, teetering on depression. So that timeline could very well fit. But it'll be great because it'll already be up and ready to roll, won't it, Jason? Before as soon as we got to do it. Hey, guess what? Oh, we're also just so happens we're also ready to institute it right now as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy thing to change into a digital only currency. So it'll there'll be steps involved, and I think the bigger the emergency, the faster the steps, right, Joe? So we'll be watching. Like right now, everyone, right now things are kind of calm, but it's bubbling up, Joe, isn't it? It's bubbling.
The digital
you can see
ID,
the danger just hasn't set in.
The digital ID. That's what we've been waiting for. We knew it was just a matter of time. It was coming. 800-951-0592. Gold's now down $22. It's improving here, 1936. $10 Liberties. They're going to be a little cheaper today. 1 through 9. $21.75. 10 or more. $21.65. $5 Liberties. This one's a really good one, too. We just had a great sale on $5 Indians, last week? $5 Liberties, 1 through 19. $565. You want to buy 20 or more? $550. 800-951-0592. And then I'll say this, tomorrow, we are going to have a silver special, an item we haven't run in a long, long time, and the price is going to be phenomenal. I'm pretty excited about that, but that won't be till tomorrow, Jason.
Yeah. So you got a good gold special. And you said those were $20 Liberties and $5 Liberties on the special, right?
$10 Liberties. What did I get the prices all wrong? $11.75. 1 through 9,
okay.
10 or more, sorry, $11.65. Yeah, that'll be an expensive 10.
I heard a $10 Liberty with a $20 price.
With a $20, $11.75, 10 or more at $11.65, 2 10s less than the 20 still, but very close. And then the $5 Liberties, 1 through 19 at $5.65, 20 or more at $550. That would put 4 5s at $2,200. $20 gold pieces right now, $21.90. Jason, the premiums have really come in nicely. Yeah, this is a great time to buy. There's, we're not quite as busy as we usually are, so this is usually an indication. Yeah, like right now, we've only got one person on the phone line. We got phone lines open, but I get it, right? It's summertime, and we're in the lull, right? Everybody's kind of, what's happening? Gold sold off, silver sold off. No, this is when you want to take advantage. I just told you. Commercial real estate, it's worse than we thought. They're talking about almost half of the commercial real estate loans won't even be eligible to refinance. Well, you know what that means. They're just going to give the keys back. 800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're coming right back with a great episode of the Half Empty Cup.